Wednesday. That's right, folks. We normally record on Thursdays, but my ass has stuff to do on Thursdays. So one day early, we're recording the podcast. I'm one of your hosts. This is VGB's episode 45. Been doing this for 45 years, 45 presidents. It's amazing how long we've been doing this. I'm one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my forever co-host, Nikki Grayson.
Hi.
All right. And this week, we have a very special guest. I am so excited.
Are you going to fade the music out or?
Yeah, I was getting there. I was getting there. But thanks for reminding me. Anyway, that's faded now. And we're here to welcome a very special guest, the social media manager for System Era Softworks. I don't know why I was so aggressive with the Softworks.
A lot of people just say System Era, so I appreciate getting the emphasis.
Yeah, no, you get the whole
Christian
thing, the whole Christian name from Software Enterprises. That's not their full name, but System Era Softworks. It's Lotus. Hi, Lotus.
Hello. It was so weird to hear the music cut in because I do watch the program. So thank you for granting my Make-A-Wish to have me on. That was really nice of you.
Yay! I'm so glad
you're gonna get attitude adjusted in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, we did call in John Cena. I'm glad you set up the blanket for it because John Cena will attitude adjust you onto the blanket for it. Or a coffin if you have it ready. Because that's what I really want. I want to be attitude adjusted straight into a coffin.
Well, you think he'll do it to a corpse?
Well, that is what usually goes in a coffin, so I don't see why not.
But John, the thing that John wants is to die, I guess, on impact with the coffin.
With the coffin, yeah. I don't want to be buried alive. I don't want to be buried alive. I want there to be some sort of mechanism that instantly kills me if the attitude adjustment.
The big spike in the coffin.
Right.
Yeah.
When we're at your wake, we'll be sure to bring something just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
Well, you don't want to be buried alive. That's one of the worst ways to go.
So I'm walking up to my open casket, shaking me to go like, did it work?
Did it work?
Everyone,
no, there's just a knife and a knife block that we put next to your casket.
Right. Yep.
And you say your goodbyes. You grab the knife, just one through the heart. Yeah. Then you put the knife back in the block. Next guy comes up, says their goodbyes, grabs the knife, one through the kidney. And then everyone just kind of gets to go through.
What's my Caesar moment?
One of my favorite things to do when I'm recording a podcast, since I've recorded like 2,000 of them in the past 5 years, is I always pay attention to the moment that my mom could no longer listen to an episode of the show.
And is it the part where they talk about killing
my dead body? Yeah. I was like, it's not even gross, but I was just like, oh yeah, she'd probably turn it off.
Yeah, she would that point.
She'd check out. She's
like, well, that's my boy. Don't do that to my boy. My baby. My precious baby.
It's okay, Bev. He's already dead. Don't worry about it, Bev.
It's already. He can't feel anything. It's already done. Lotus, you were in the news last week.
I was.
Yeah,
you were in the news.
You were in the news.
I personally was in the news.
You personally were in the news as you were personally passed over in the Nintendo Direct to not show the very good trailer for Star Seeker. But I am glad that the UK version seemed to work. And of course, that's been getting distributed. First of all, I'm just curious, and you I'm sure you can't tell me anything, or you may not even know. But did Nintendo ever reach out to you or the other people during that technical thing and be like, hey, we're so sorry about that? Did they have any explanation for it? I'm so curious about it.
I'll say when I saw it, as someone who has unfortunately been using the internet for a long time, I was like, that looks like a YouTube issue.
Yeah.
Just immediately, it's like this doesn't look like someone's computer fucked up. It looks like a YouTube problem. And my boss had seen the next day that apparently YouTube had an outage in the States at that time. It was some, high level conversation. But as far as I'm aware, someone either from System Era or from Devolver reached out to Nintendo and they're like, we are so sorry, but we're pretty sure it wasn't us. So there is also that. But, they were nice about it. There's nothing you could do. We just got unlucky, which is, to be fair, funny. Getting unlucky is really funny. You need to remember that sometimes.
Yeah, no.
It
got you back today by putting it on the YouTube channel.
Yes,
they did put it on the YouTube channel.
They did Gungeon 2 yesterday.
Okay.
Which I also need to remind people, because we got into articles and stuff. A lot of people were not mentioning the Enter the Gungeon 2 worldwide announcement also got completely skipped. So shout outs to them.
Yeah, some really big stuff just in the glut in the middle of this hour-long presentation just got completely
fucking everyone
frozen.
Was sad about Survival Kids as well.
To be fair, they got like 60% of the way through their trailer.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
First, the worst thing for us, like, because I saw the thing freeze and I was like, oh, my Texas internet, how sick.
Yeah, you're right.
Refreshed approximately 4 times and went, oh no, because I can still hear it. I hear the Enter the Gungeon announcement go on. I'm like, oh, there's a Gungeon 2? That's cool. And then I hear our music start.
Oh,
yeah.
And quite notably, Astroneer does not have any voices anywhere. Starseeker, which is in the same universe, doesn't either. So I was like, fuck, it's just going to be the music's great. Shout outs to Coach. But it is not going to be comprehensible as the thing that it is. Tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really tough. Well, I'm glad that they were able to make good a little bit. And you can wishlist Starseeker now. Is that correct?
Yes, it's on Steam. I think the PlayStation Store is also live.
Okay, cool.
Xbox and Switch, maybe they're live right now. Who's to say?
Who can freaking know?
Who can freaking say? Yeah, go do that. You also wrote an article this week about Metroid Brainia. Do you want to talk to us about Metroid Brainia? Nikki, how do you feel about Metroid Brainia? You know? No?
It's like, just don't fucking, who gives a shit?
I'm having a beer on this one, by the way.
Wow.
That's the only way you can get through this conversation.
That's the only way you can get through
it.
What is it? Shiner what? You don't like it either, is the thing. Is it
a Shinerbach always has like a holiday
I'll give you some
July.
idea. I'll give you some. It's not July, but it is April. And I definitely bought Shiner Holiday Cheer when it first came on.
So you liked it so much.
This is like an October purchase, I think.
You liked it so much you kept it around.
Aged, which is good.
It's aged. It's Frigidaire aged.
Frigidaire aged, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Outdoor garage aged. Anyway,
which, as I understand, is how alcohol works. That it got better because of that.
It got better.
I don't care what you call the video game, what you can't, or what genre you think the video game is in. What you can't do is continue to make shit up.
Words do mean things.
Words mean things.
Yeah.
We have words for this game. It's a puzzle game.
Mm-hmm. We also have words that are not for games that can be for anything.
For anything.
Adjectives.
Yeah, they're called adjectives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even get some clauses in there, prepositions that you can simply use to talk about the game.
We can't.
I mean, there was also an article, Riley McLeod wrote an article about like the worst terms in games, kind of not directly attached to this conversation, but I would say adjacent. We've had review scores in games magazines forever, and there was a period where it was very nostalgic, and it felt actually weirdly as a kid it felt meaningful, and as I got older it felt less meaningful, and I now see that it directly caused, in my opinion, a degradation of our language and our expectations for ourselves and each other. And is there a direct line from review scores to we don't know how to fucking talk about anything anymore? Or is that line less muddy or more muddy than that?
We just don't have the what I think it is partially that. I really think it's just
that pronunciation of
partially.
I really loved it.
I just had water and it got stuck. So there was like there was like a frame buffered there.
That was like how Gwyneth Paltrow says partially. That was amazing. Partially.
But I think it's like everything needs to be like something else.
Okay. Yep.
Now when we talk about it, because it's like we're trying to get to this monoculture as a society, which is not going to happen or is bad mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So then when it's why everyone's like, well, it's like Metroid.
Right.
It's like nobody's legitimately, if you look at the numbers, nobody's ever played Metroid.
Yeah,
no, not even you've played a Metroid.
That's not true. I played one Metroid.
And you liked it.
I did. You liked it. I liked it a lot. But like nobody's played that. Nobody's played Castle fucking Vania. They've made 150 of those and nobody's played them.
Yeah.
The most important Castlevania thing on the planet is called Vampire Survivors.
You're not wrong. You've made a lot of people really mad, but you're not wrong. Yeah.
So it's like we have other words in the vocabulary of language, of English specifically, that we can use to describe these games that are actively doing things that are not like other things. So we should take the opportunity to fucking flip through the dictionary and find new words as opposed to breaking our own backs to go back to try to like analogize. Thank you. It to some old shit that no one again has ever played.
No, that no one's ever played. To me, it's less from like the publication side of things and more the publisher side of things. Because for me, the particular problem of genres and the stupid ass subgenres that people will try to come up with is from like marketing and commercialization stuff. I was talking to a friend of mine who's an author, and I don't know if this is like common knowledge, and I was just out of the loop. But when you try to get a book published, you have to go to the publisher and say, hello, here are the 3 books that my book is like. And this is what means that it'll get sold, which is part of why like queer romance is not published a lot, is because you're like, well, there's these straight people who are a little like it, kind of, and they're like, well, that's different. I feel like that is a lot, because at the end of the day, I just want to blame Steam. I want to blame Steam for adding the Souls-like tag, which also doesn't really mean anything, but it can mean something sometimes. But it mostly just means Metroidvania, but it's usually 3D, but not always anymore.
Not always anymore.
2D.
Oftentimes, Metroidvania and Souls-like are in fact used completely and totally interchangeably, to the point where both terms are really starting to lose any meaning.
What if we just don't talk about them anymore?
No video games? Just don't stop talking about them?
I mean, it's just like we put them out. It's in this one you go to space. I don't know. In this one you fight vampires.
Yeah,
Nikki's on Team Objective Review. The graphics work. You go to space.
The graphics work. You put the disc in and it turns on.
It turns on. It works. It works on everything.
You figure out what the fuck it is.
Isn't it crazy that like we don't often talk about what the game is about? It is it is a Souls-like ARPG on a journey of revenge. Did you think to maybe mention it's also a sci-fi game at any point in time?
At any point.
What's the setting?
Right. Can I get like a vague, I know it's a video game and the narratives are often background to say the least, but like a vague concept of a theme or some of the stuff that might happen might be helpful for me to know whether or not I will care. Because what gamer is out there like, they said that it was like a JRPG, and I was more looking for like a turn-based RPG. Yeah. It's different.
Well, my mind fell completely out of my ass about a month ago when the JRPG discourse kicked up again, and again,
obscure Expedition 33.
For Claire Obscure, and again, like I'm someone who has tried to excise that from my vocabulary as shorthand, just because I think it makes sense to describe something kind of more in, be in the moment, describe something as it is, all that stuff. But I was not arguing with someone on Blue Sky, but someone did say like, well, it's like a character-based thing. Like it's not just a player insert with no agency. It says, so I said, so The Witcher 3 would be a JRPG, and the guy dead ass immediately went, yep. And I'm like, hold on. Like, you know what? You're right. And also you're insane. Like, this is so stupid.
Deranged.
Like, so deranged. And I'm like, yeah, fine. You're proving everyone's point in the moment. And I don't know. Genre is funny, and the way we describe things is funny. I think shorthand is something that like I try to pay attention to when I write about games or talk about games, and I'm not always successful. But boy, I think like this week, Blueprints is a game that I guess defies genre expectations.
It is, and a lot of people are trying to
sure. And I think that's beautiful.
It would just be easier to say there's like 4 games in
here. Yep.
Than it would be to try to manipulate the words that we have to mean something. Because when you do that, you lose the things that make this new and interesting and genre like creating. Or like genre bending. It removes the sharpness of that object when you try to break it that way. So
yeah, and it's a lot about what you specifically talk on here about, John, which is like it's nice to talk about games and make sure that everyone thinks about games in the history of games and puts them in conversation. Because Blueprints is like 4 games in one, sure. But also every fucking game used to be like that.
Yes, a lot of games used to be like this. Yeah.
That's why I talk about in the article about like Outer Wilds, which is just an action adventure game. And it's barely even action. It's just a fucking adventure game straight up.
It's an adventure game. Yeah.
That game could have come out in 2004.
Yes.
Sure. It could have. I don't mechanically, probably not. But like, the way
you can do the Dark Bramble on a Core 2 Duo, absolutely. Easy. Light work.
I played on my Game Boy Micro back in the day. But like, it just feels like a disservice, and also kind of that thing of like gaming press kind of needing to lionize games in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You don't say action adventure anymore. It's too broad, it's too vague, everything's an action adventure. Well, guess what? So is this. So whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. It's simply the words do actually do what they need to do. And it's your job to add the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. It is. I would love to keep talking about video games. I'm going to take us on a detour real quick because I want to get both of you up to Dallas to see a baseball game this summer.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Fun. I think I told you I was going to go, and then I found out that we were going to be in this thing called the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct.
Mm-hmm, yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah. I said, well,
when I went to the Rangers game this past week, I had tamales and a michelada that was the size of my head. But they also played The Giver, Chapel Roan's The Giver, which was really funny to me because I was just looking around at like in between, like for everyone's walk up batter songs are just like the worst fucking top 100 butt country in the world.
Yes.
Yes. But then like just in the stadium at some point they were playing the MJF AEW theme song, Nikki. I don't know why.
Is that
no, I have no idea.
Is it because All In is there?
No, because they played WWE songs like immediately after that. There was no rhyme. They played Mick Foley's theme from 1999. They played Jock Peterson, who
still in the league,
wears all yellow pads, which does not go with our shit at all. No. Comes up to the plate to Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17. Really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but it's weird.
I would change that every game.
But then The Giver, just over the loudspeaker, The Giver. I went to go get a michelada. Baby, I'm The Giver. I'm looking around at all these people. I'm like, y'all would not vibe with this at all if you knew. It.
No, because do you know, John? Do you know?
Do I know about The Giver? It's direct.
Do you know that no one likes Chapel Rowan more than 40-year-old white dads who watch baseball?
I know, right?
Do you know that? It was one of the most, because like I knew objectively that it was true. But it didn't occur to me how true it was until I started watching baseball last year around the time that Chapel Rowan was having her blow up. And every single commentator from every single city would stop, because you have a lot of downtime in baseball, to talk about how much they like Chapel Rowan's Pink Pony Club.
What is it? What could it be about, though? You know?
Who cares? Sure. Our producer, I think, is the same like demographic. So there's just something in the blood that gets to the
something about it. Something about it. But I also was like that ballpark though. I don't know if I agree with baseball baseball. I don't think I agree with covered baseball stadiums.
You don't?
No, I think I'm against it.
I think like, there's a couple areas where it's necessary.
It was cold. It was 45 degrees the other day. So I was glad that it was, yes. So I'm glad it was closed, but I also sat there the whole time being like, this is wrong.
Open it.
I think it's wrong. I don't know.
But how do you feel about the ones where you can open and close it?
Well, that's what Globe Life is. You can open it.
Oh, I see.
They just haven't opened it yet.
You don't like the idea of it ever being closed?
I don't think I like the idea of it being closed. I don't know.
Okay, well, fucking move then, I guess.
I will.
I don't know.
I'm going to. I'm going to move to Sacramento to watch the Athletics
at the River Cats
Stadium
for 3 months. Or
dude,
whatever.
I've been in that building, and at the time I was like, this feels like a building for a child. And I was a child. I was in the 8th grade when I was last there, and I said, it's nice. I was also at the Oakland Coliseum last month for a soccer game. It was it was last month. Wow, that place, it sucks.
Yeah.
Not like the A's shouldn't have left.
Right.
I agree. They should have stayed in Oakland.
But they should have left.
God, I get it. Like, not to be insane, you can't. You simply cannot. There is no way that Sacramento will not be a better building to play sports in and have people watch sports in than the Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah.
When the stadium is noticeably not nice on television compared to the other stadiums, something must be wrong.
When you go in there, it is like it is what I imagine being in prison is like. That's not an exaggeration.
That's what you imagine being prison like. Is the Oakland Coliseum.
The ways that you are trapped in that building intentionally.
You've never sounded more like Kamala Harris. You should be very proud right now.
It's just what I think prison
Thank you,
is
Madam
like.
President. Thank you, Madam President.
It's just what I think prison's like. There's one bridge to get in and out of the stadium from the train.
Oh, so it's like an Arkham Asylum kind of situation.
There's literally
it really is an Arkham Asylum. Okay.
If there are too many people on the train platform, everyone stands on the bridge. And if there are too many people on the bridge, everyone stands in front of the bridge. You cannot walk out of this building onto the street because the streets are freeways.
Damn.
That let you into the building.
Damn. That doesn't.
You can't get out.
Like it's been designed well, some might say.
So I'm sorry, Oakland, that your baseball team left. They weren't good anyway. So you're not missing anything. But also that building fucking blows is my other thing. Anyway, trade war.
Damn, trade war. Yeah, let's talk about the news. Donald Trump did fucking reverse most of the additive tariffs that he implemented just right before Imran and I recorded that podcast from last week. If you want to go listen to that, you should go listen to that. Almost all of it is moot, except right now, China's tariff is now at 125%. That is new.
Is that good?
Is that good? Great question, Lotus.
Hey, but
big number.
Not good. It's a big number.
Yeah, you want the number to go up, right? So it's
China. That's what I've learned from my MMO RPG subgenre sci-fi Metroidvania. Is that when the number goes up, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. The China tariffs are up to 125. That was in response, quote unquote, in response to China retaliating with their own 81% tariff earlier, or 84, whatever, something around there. We could talk about the fucking, it's a pump and dump. It's so fucking obvious. Everyone's like, whatever. Oh, Nikki has a question. Go ahead.
Do we get anything from China?
We do.
Does any of our stuff come from China?
We do. Look under your seat. Look at the label on your seat. That your seat came from China.
The seat itself.
The plastic of your microphone came from China. It's very possible that
here is that I shouldn't smoke cigarettes while on this chair.
Why?
I don't know.
It'll get into the mesh and smell.
It'll get into the mesh, I guess.
You have to spray it with vodka and pray to get the smell out.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? It's likely that your textiles, the clothes that you're wearing, have come from China. All the PCB boards and your electronics have come from China. Yes, everything comes from China. We get so much from China. It's not just electronics. It's not just car parts. It's just so many things.
Well, but we can just move that stuff to Ohio and like
in about 3-4 months, we can move all that stuff to Ohio.
Spin this stuff back up.
Yeah, we can spin it back up, and we want to take basically the high paying white collar jobs that we've gotten used to over the last 60 years. Want to just kind of bump that down to kind of being back in the Industrial Revolution and all working in the family.
The kids should be in the machines.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said we should get back to a thresher based society. And I think like this is the way to do that. I just appreciate our president for finally kind of making the bold steps to do that. Anyway, that said, the tariffs delayed Canada's pre-orders as well because those are directly connected to the supply chain that America gets. So that all got also
like
up
fears of arbitrage. I think is
as
like
well.
Also explicitly part of it. Which like, damn, sorry, gang.
Sorry.
Hey. That's good. They'll like that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's great. One of the funniest things is also this is happening while world famous streamer iShowSpeed is accidentally undoing approximately 50 years of anti-Chinese propaganda by live streaming from China. He's just hanging out.
He's hanging out.
This is an electric car that costs $70,000 and it's faster than my Lamborghini. Casually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's good for him.
Weird. Yeah.
Listen, Broken Clock right maybe like 3/4 of a time a day with that one.
What if we stopped the show right now and watched side by side simultaneously the video series where Tucker Carlson did grocery shopping in Russia and iShowSpeed streaming in China? Do you think we would all have a brain bleed and die instantly if we did that?
I'm already having one.
It's so, like you said, John, it's so like nakedly obvious that they were like, okay, well, we'll fuck the economy like this and we'll put money in while it's down and then we'll change our mind and then number go back up.
Well, the market's back up. I mean, that's the other part. They shot way up because these things were quote reversed. I mean, all the reporting is like he caved or what? He didn't fucking cave. He's a rat fuck. He just changes his mind every 5 seconds. It's whatever. Anyway, keep going.
Oh no, that was it.
That was it. Okay.
That's just it's just so naked and there's nothing there's nothing really to be done about it because no one's gonna do anything about it. So
Jordan, put in the music for Year of Luigi.
The music for Year of Luigi.
My God, that's Luigi's music.
I'd recognize that sound anywhere.
There really isn't. I've seen some speculation that and I don't really know why, that dropping all these other tariffs and then maintaining this massive Chinese tariff might actually mean that we can pre-order Switch 2s soon. Like I don't understand that logic.
I think it's just because Nintendo that logic, the Polygon had a piece out yesterday ?
I feel can we just say I feel so bad for reporters right now.
Yeah,
I feel like they have to get something up because it doesn't fucking matter. Like every time I see someone write an article, I'm like, this doesn't fucking matter. Like like I almost felt stupid recording that podcast like last week of the Imran. I was like, tomorrow, no, this isn't gonna fucking matter at all. So enjoy it today. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
And
I did. I listened to it in the car, John, on the way to Utah. So thanks. No, but that article was like, I don't know, they're probably not going to raise them. And I was like, based on what? Like,
based on what?
Based on what?
Do you think Nintendo, who has more money than God and would like to increase that number, is going to be like, well, I guess it's stable now. We'll just go right back.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They say it's going to be stable for 90 days, which is as long as we're going to sell the Switch 2.
So it's fine.
Not
only that, there's no other sales that depend on the Switch 2. So once they're out there in 90 days, it'll all be fine.
It'll be fine because everyone's gonna have. We're just gonna make. Let me see. How many Switches did they sell? How many Switches?
I'm sure it wasn't too many, right?
I don't think so.
It's
only 100. It's only 151 million. So they've probably what they're doing. They delayed it by probably a week so they could finish making the 150 million that they need, and then they'll sell them in the next 90 days.
Oh,
bing bang bosh, Bob's your uncle. Nintendo's back in the fucking green. Oi.
Nikki, I don't know if you know this about Nikki Lotus, but Nikki watches the entirety of Ted Lasso every single 6 weeks, just like binges
every 6 weeks. It's because now how are there 4 people in this document?
Does someone named Lotus have 2 tabs open?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
It's very likely.
I might have 2 tabs open. I probably have my MacBook open in another.
It turns out Nikki's not actually in there. It's just 2 Johns and 2 E's. Which is unfortunately completely feasible.
Completely feasible. It's not though, because I also know that the official camera that they want you to buy is 1080p. But the Piranha Plant one, 480p. Here's the thing.
Which is so fucking funny.
It's really fucking funny.
So
also,
funny.
You don't need the camera to be 1080p. It's going to run at 8 frames a fucking second and be this big, tiny as fuck thumbnail. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So have it get the cute one. Again, so that you could just have a camera pointed at your couch at all times and no one's going to ask any questions.
No one's going to ask any questions. Yeah.
It's not going to be weird.
But the good thing about the Piranha Plant one is that you can have Hog out and no one will know. It'll be too like pixelated and weird.
Yeah. God, I hope they put Uno on the Switch too and just have it just be the Xbox 360 version of Uno.
Oh my God. What if they bring back 1 versus 100 for Switch 2? I shouldn't have said that because now we want it. Now we want it.
1 versus 100 was so good.
It was so good.
We haven't. Video games have
family feud, right?
Like, okay, here's the thing.
That'd be fun.
That's the only time I would want the webcam. So
that'd be really fun.
Good answer.
That's my favorite thing on earth.
They're still making 1 million $10 pyramid. They're still making that.
Oh yeah,
show.
I know. I saw Rachel Dratch on it the other day. Yeah.
Like, why is there not they should just start putting this shit on the computer. Let me play Jeopardy against a stranger. I've had an idea.
Okay.
Yeah. No one's ever put Jeopardy on the computer before.
So you have... Okay. So every day, maybe 2 times a day, once in the afternoon and once at maybe like 8 p.m.
I already know what you're doing. I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to let you cook. I'm not even going to be I'm going to be your sous chef. I'll be over here.
2 times a day. You've got a show, right? And it's got a guy in it. Right? And he's hosting it. And it's a game show. And everyone's playing it at the same time.
Sure.
So all of the questions, it's on the phone, right? So it's connected to the internet and you're watching. It's kind of like a live streamed host. And then he asks the questions and then the answers come up. Like, who wants to be a millionaire? And then you get to pick the answer. And then if you get all the way to the end without getting if you get the question wrong, you're out. Right. If you get all the questions right, there's a pot of money that everyone who gets it right splits, and it goes directly to your PayPal.
Got it.
So you want Kahoot Be Real with real money?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
One of the more Zoomer sentences I've ever uttered.
That's very much so.
You could have the guy be named like, what was the HQ guy's name?
All I could come up with Scott Hansen, and that's the Red Zone guy.
It is Scott Rogowski.
Scott Rogowski, that's right.
Wow, that's impressive.
Wow, what a pull.
Was that your Slumdog Millionaire-esque flashback reminding you of what his name was?
What is Scott Rogowski up to?
What is he up to? I'm looking at him right now. God,
he left the show so he could.
This guy is the whitest guy
in the world. Congrats, Sean.
Ugh. That hurts.
When are you going to host a game show, John?
Yeah, when are you going to be Scott Rogowski?
Ugh, I don't know.
I'm getting more likes on Instagram than he is, so that's nice.
That's cool. Did you ever win any money on HQ?
I did. I won like $20 on HQ once, but we were cheating to be so clear.
$20. $20 split 34 ways.
I ended up winning $5.
Okay, all right, okay,
not bad.
But there were 4 of us in the thing. We all made it to the last question. I don't even remember what it was, but we all just picked one, and then we ended up winning $20.
Amazing.
Did you win?
I won like $7 or something.
Hell yeah. Lotus, did you win, or were you in the fetus stage still?
I think I was in the fetal stage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe around a little bit later than fetal, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine.
2017? How old were you in 2017, Lotus? What were you doing
in the fetal stage?
We already said it.
Fast.
I already said it. My birthday's tomorrow, and I can't wait to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the first time.
Yay!
Because I'll finally be old enough.
You miss the kids to adult ESRB rating. Every day exactly. You say, I can't play anything. I'm not old enough for FIFA.
I was right outside of the Lego 9 to 99, and I can't wait to get my hands on those sets. I hope they still have the Lego Spaceman.
I think they might. I think they
made new ones. The Lego Spaceman, not to get into the weeds, but the Lego Spaceman was like infamously difficult to purchase for a long time.
Lego Spaceman. Yeah, he's back. He's only $255 on eBay.
Good God.
Well, that's not a lot of money anymore, right?
No.
These fucking
Where did the Legos come from? Really, where do they make Lego?
I'm sure they make them there too. Actually, with Lego, it's not impossible.
They might make them in Europe.
Lego has that whole thing that they all of their Legos are recyclable now and made out of some kind of renewable thing. So it might be Denmark only their technology kind of situation.
So it shows
well,
Denmark. Well, they're white, so it's fine. Hungary.
They're only white.
I don't know anything about them. Monterey, Mexico, and Zhejiang, China. Yeah. Does anyone know about anything about those last two?
Zhejiang, China. And Monterey, Mexico.
And Monterey, Mexico. Do they are they up or down on them?
I'm up on
What's the stance? What's the VGB stance on Mexico in this? Let's decide that today.
Does this podcast like Mexico, John?
You know what? I'm excited to announce that VGBs does like Mexico. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
I know.
They're opening a new factory in Virginia. What did Lego know?
What did they know?
What did they know?
Dumbass Nintendo put theirs in Vietnam. Look
exactly.
What
Idiots.
Idiots.
What did they know?
Virginia.
Fucking
you can abuse your workers a little easier.
Exactly.
Incredible.
The GameCube controller only works on GameCube games.
Yeah, way to go, guys. You're selling this fucking controller for the 8th time, and it still only works with a certain set of games.
It works worse than the last one they sold.
Stupid.
They sold a GameCube controller with a USB on it that the Switch was like, this is a classic controller.
Mm-hmm. The GameCube is the one everyone likes.
Yeah, like
maybe the only one that everyone likes, and they can't stop not doing it right.
No, they don't. They listen. It's their first one. Okay, they've never made a console before.
Everyone, just calm down. They're doing their best. They're doing their best to make their first console. They don't know what they're doing yet. I don't know. I'm not like I do love GameCube, but I'm not like a GameCube pervert the way that some people are. So yeah, I don't. But it is a good controller. It's a good gamepad.
But I'm just trying to figure out who's buying. Well, I know who, but like you say, oh, it only works on GameCube games. Okay,
yeah.
But is there a world where people were going to buy the GameCube controller to play
Wind Waker,
something else?
Oh,
I think so. Because like for me. I don't remember how much money it is, but I'm assuming it's at least $50 American, if not higher.
Yeah.
If I'm spending that much money on a controller, I'm not buying another one. So I would simply like all the games to work on. I'm still using an Xbox One controller on my PC, and I'll never stop.
Oh yeah.
Until it falls apart.
I think if the controller, and this is going to be a really controversial take, and I'm sorry, but like, I think if the controller has like the same amount of buttons that a standard controller would have for that system, you should probably just play those games.
Did just work.
You should probably just play those games.
Play those games. You can plug a PlayStation controller into an Xbox and it will fucking work.
Yeah.
Listen, again, it's their first one.
I know.
Just
give them some grace. I don't want to see a repeat of the Ouya and all the negativity you guys were putting towards them.
You were so mean to fucking Julie Ehrman's Ouya. You were so mean to her. She had to buy a soccer team and run it into the ground in 3 years.
At the height of Kickstarter and all that, I was running a game studio in Austin. And we bought an Ouya for the studio because we were like, this is so cool. It's an indie box.
Yeah, it's an indie box.
It's amazing. It's so good. It's for us.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe we can make the games for fucking Ouya, dude. We were like so excited. And we did plug that thing in one day, and it took like 15 of us about 30 minutes to be like, this thing is a piece of shit, and we never played it again. Dead on arrival.
I'm trying to get Grub to send me one so I can take it. The soccer bit was not a joke.
Oh, I know.
She partially owns she's the CEO or something of Angel City. I'm trying to get all of the players to sign an Ouya.
Yeah.
And it's a nice thing to have signed because, like, I think of like musical artists. I like, get them to sign a CD or a T-shirt. But the CD will sometimes need to be played.
Yes,
the T-shirt needs to be washed. The Ouya
never needs to be used. Paperweight
never needs to be used. You can just put it on display.
Perfectly flat sides.
Perfect.
I don't mean this is shade to women's soccer, but what do you think Julie Ehrman's conversations with her accountant are like? Hey, Julie, I just noticed you did this Ouya thing that didn't go well, but you want to now women's soccer, huh?
You want to get in here?
Sure.
I mean, she was right.
She was right.
The team makes money.
I mean, Ouya made a fuck ton of money on Kickstarter. I mean, they made a ton.
She's just cursed vibes. Yeah. She's like Meg Whitman, but not as popular.
Now, in my head, I thought you meant Mae Whitman, the voice actress, for a second, but that's not.
I'm talking about Meg Whitman from HP and American Politics for 2 seconds. Remember that?
I do.
When she was trying to be president. Lotus, are you getting a Switch too?
Yeah, are you getting one of these?
Will it be possible?
Assuming it will be possible.
Within the price range that they already said.
It's difficult because y'all have already talked about this, but like the base price is about what I personally expected it to be. I thought it'll probably be $500. I think $400 is the optimistic price. So when they said $450, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
If they announce Just Dance Forever, where all of the songs are on it, then I will get it. Other than that, there's not enough games that I can imagine playing that are only on the Switch. So I could be a potential 2 years in. I'm also someone who bought a Switch 2 years in and then sold it within like a year and a half because I was bored of it. So
that makes sense.
You know, it's a maybe. Just Dance and Dance Central. That's what I want. That's what a Switch is for.
I guess some news. Hades 2 is going to be console exclusive for Switch 2 for like a minute, which is interesting.
Strange.
If only there was. I mean, is it?
You know. It's a little odd.
Is it?
I mean, they backed up the truck, obviously, to Supergiant.
So, like, I don't think it's. I'd say
weird. Yes to that. I
guess considering the fact that they were in various other showcases in the past, it does make a certain amount of sense. The thing is, like, in the short-term financial sense, seems kind of strange.
Yeah, for sure.
But they have Hades money forever. It just feels like something that doesn't make sense.
It didn't feel like they needed to do it. Like there are teams that do stuff like that where I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Supergiant feels like they can kind of call their own shots. And so when I see that happening, I'm like, oh, that payday must have been fucking crazy then.
Yeah, and I also think it's like I don't know. You want I don't know. I think it's not weird at all, but I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think it's weird. When I think of playing, I just think it's money good. And when I think about people who are playing Hades, I cannot imagine a person playing Hades on the PlayStation, and I don't know why.
You know what?
For me, it's like you're playing it on the personal computer, or you're playing it on the Switch, and like you're not playing it on the PlayStation or the Xbox. And I can't back that up.
If I saw someone with multiple, like if I walked in somewhere and they had a PC and they had a Switch on their desk and an Xbox, and they're like, let me fire up Hades, and they turn their Xbox on, I'm probably leaving. I'm probably calling the police for some reason. Like, I'm probably just like, oh, that's weird. Because I do agree. I'm like, okay, you can have it on the box that you can take with you.
Yeah.
Or you could have it on PC where you've already had it on early access.
Yeah, I don't understand why I believe that. Yeah. But it's like, to me, I'm like, with you. They'll get to sell it on those things later. The last time they did it, they sold it on the Xbox and the PlayStation later, and it was fine. Except this time, Nintendo was probably like, would you like us some money?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they said, yeah.
Yep.
The only reason I mostly agree, the only like X factor is the PS5, which as a console and the way that people react to it, just doesn't make sense to me. It has sold so much, and for any game that is multi-platform, it's sometimes PC and then it's PlayStation 5 like pretty consistently. So that's the only one where I'm like, that seems kind of rough. I'm sure people will buy it later, but like,
and also like, I'm sure Supergiant feels different about it now.
Right.
Than they did when they signed the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you sign the deal, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. There are going to be 4 games on this thing.
BFFs with the Nintendo.
But BFFs with the Nintendo, there's 4 games on it. If we put this game out in August, then like, we're going to get the biggest square on the eShop possible. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's going to buy it. But now nobody's going to be able to buy one of these things. So I'm sure they should
make a Zelda Hades.
I mean, they should do a lot. They should do a lot of stuff.
Nintendo should give a Supergiant a lot of money to make just Link does Link things, but in Hades style.
Maybe they think this is step 1, and that's part of
Maybe they think that's step 1.
There are so many levers. Nintendo is the company I think that has the most levers to pull. Is that true? To make more money?
In terms of IP that people give a fuck about, I would say yes. It's hard not to say yes.
Because they could at any point be like, yeah, there are studios that make these games better than we do. We'll just let you use the IP and you can like, then I know why they don't. Right. But I do wonder if they start to get into a situation where they're like, well, they already aren't making money on the hardware, but if they're like, we need to crank this shit up so we make more money. If we give, I don't know, if we give someone who knows how to make a 3D open world video game the Pokemon license and say, go make a Pokemon game.
Like Monolith. Oh.
Wow.
Well,
Titanfall 3 is coming out soon.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. But it's probably bullshit, from what I understand.
It's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So there have been, Grub talks about it on Game Mess today. But like,
what on what?
So Jordan, cut that out.
Yeah, because we have to get the PAL block nomenclature right. So
Grub talked about it on Game Breaking News.
Thank you.
This morning. Mm-hmm. But like the game's just not, it doesn't exist and hasn't existed for a really, really long time.
I don't think sometimes I feel like there are studios or people like personalities in games that'll just kind of like lie about stuff all the time. Like, I don't think Respawn with their EA affiliation and all this stuff, like, I don't think they're like doing a fun, like secret plan here.
They don't have enough guys.
They don't have enough stuff to do it. Like EA has roped them into their EA stuff. And like, I don't even think like they're bad. Like, I don't even think they're in a bad situation. I want Titanfall 3 to happen, but it's like, they're in a okay situation and like, they're not making Titanfall 3. Like
Titanfall 1 came out 11 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
So everyone who was in charge of the video game Titanfall that isn't named Vince Zampella, who is now in charge of Battlefield, right?
Yes.
Is they aren't there
Very
anymore.
successful. Very successful Battlefield.
Yeah, really successful. But they aren't there anymore. They got their shit vested because they got bought.
Yep.
And now they're gone. They're gone. They're doing their own stuff. So they've fucked the Apex Leggings chicken.
Leggings.
And it's dry. So the game's not coming out. Now, listen, if what we're doing now is just providing someone like content for look at these idiots reel when the game gets revealed at SGF, that's fine. Joke's on you, idiot. I get to play Titanfall 3.
I'll do the same thing. I've been doing this for Silksong for the past 3 weeks. We're going to go in real close here. That game's never coming out. Okay? It's never coming out.
Lotus, did you play Titanfalls?
I've played Titanfall 2. I think most people who watch other people talk about video games seem to believe it is God's gift to first-person shooters. I think it is pretty good.
True. I think it's pretty good.
It's a pretty good game. It's not. I was not blown away.
I think there are 2 levels in that game that are all timers. But there's a reason I'm not still playing Titanfall 2 because it still does exist. I think it is. I would say better than pretty good. And I do think there are 2 levels that are incredible. It's the one where you are fighting through the factory as they're building the prefab houses, and then the time one.
That game's really good. I think that game's. I think the game is pretty good.
They're good.
They're
Lotus,
pretty good.
You know what? Lotus, you're wrong.
I think you're
fucking wrong, Lotus.
I think we could be like, it's like this is everyone can have different opinions here.
Except for Lotus.
Except for Lotus.
By the end of this podcast, Lotus, you're going to think that Titanfall 2 is the best game ever made.
It's one of the best games ever.
So John and I are going to sit down. It's the only one that's ever been made.
It's the only one.
What is this Slay the Spire waifu edition?
Well,
Lotus, you put this on.
I wanted to make this clear. Like Lotus, like she messaged me like 6 months ago and was like, I want to come on your show on this date. And it's right before my birthday, and I have this amazing story to share with you. And I have to like come on to do it. So it's like this has been so long in the making. Lotus, I'm just kidding. You just said this yesterday as a throwaway, and I was very curious.
While you were watching Joe is Hungry eat pickle chicken from Popeyes.
They have pickle chicken?
Yeah, they brushed the chicken out of some pickle juice bullshit when she says it's too spicy. You also missed it, Nikki. The worst double parking jobs I've ever seen. You got to go watch the clips for that. It's really good.
I'll go watch.
They're really good.
But yeah, you mentioned in chat that there's a Slay the Spire waifu edition. You've got to fucking tell me what this is.
I am being joking because Slay the Spire waifu edition is the fastest and easiest way to explain it. But it is a giant Steam Workshop mod for Slay the Spire called Xion, made by from what I understand, some Chinese user who really likes Slay the Spire. Xion is the name of the main character who they have invented. That all has new waifu art. There's anime girlies. There is a full new loading screen. Let me read from the mod because it's not just like I like Slay the Spire and I like anime yibbies. So I have put anime yibbies in Slay the Spire. This mod introduces 6 new characters, 88 new relics, 26 new events, 467 new cards, 16 new potions, 24 new bosses, 9 new costumes, and new mechanics, including status effects, which are called keywords called loading complete, funnel, total synchro, task pursued, bleeding, hyperlink, core gladii, stiffness, and magium obruor.
Stiffness. Oh my god.
I barely know how it works. I have seen some gameplay of it, but especially the lead girly, Xion, is also fully voice acted.
Jesus Christ.
Do
they get naked or no?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge
either. They are
either.
all androids who have special kinds of lasers and swords, and well, actually, one of them's not android. She's like a part dragon. and has dragon powers.
I'm on Billy right now, and I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm on this person's Patreon right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is wild. This is a robust mod.
This is robust. Just make your own video game.
At a certain point,
just make your own.
If it was just, I have used my artistic talent to make a bunch of anime girlies and put them in Slay the Spire, I'd be like, I respect that. But they just made a whole game.
Yeah, at this point, all they've done is they've reduced the video game Slay the Spire to being a calculator. And then they put another game on top.
I have some news about Slay the Spire.
No, for sure. It was always a calculator.
It's the end of Bioshock Infinite. There's always a lighthouse. There's always a calculator.
I'm looking at Wang Chuan. She's girl of vampire.
Oh, okay. So what's that mean?
Oh, I see. Well, Wang Chuan is a spell sword fighter of vampire descent. She can deal massive damage with her blade and magic, but beware, the sword exhausts her body and the spell drains her mind.
So she's fucked regardless. So if she does anything, she's fucked.
That is also how Slay the Spire works.
There's a Q&A on this mod, and there are just two questions. We're going to read them. Q, how do I find the new boss? A, it is introduced by a subsequent event after defeating the heart. Okay. Second question. Who are these characters? Are they from animes? Answer. Well, no, they are original. So don't spam the comment with inquiries on animes, please.
There are 45 pages of comments, so I think
45. There are 450 comments on this fucking thing.
Are any of them? Most of them, I can't believe it. Most of them are in Chinese.
Most of them are in Chinese.
Can you believe that? It was extremely funny. I think I've talked about this before, but when Black Myth Wukong came out and people saw the numbers for that game on Steam and were like, it's got to be Chinese bots. And have you ever played a game called Don't Starve Together? Do you know that the only people who play that game anymore are Chinese? They have computers in China.
You know what? They have a lot of computers in China.
They kind of make them there.
They kind of make them there, and they kind of play a lot of games.
That's a really good idea. What if we made it so that if anybody was trying to send anything to America from China, we charged them 125%. Also on top of the cost of the object.
That is so fucking smart.
Thanks.
That's so smart.
There's a reason Tencent bought. Yeah. I had to go get her. But you know, that's why Tencent bought Don't Starve, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's almost as if.
Almost
it's like they know.
Hey, let's stop talking about the news. Let's talk about some video games. Lotus, you have played some games that I want you to tell me about. I especially want you to tell me about a game called Hot Wax. But tell me about what you're most excited about playing right now.
I really need to play a game called Void Stranger that I have played zero of. This was one of the games that kind of made it into like the sickos lists. People who are IGF judges or like pay attention a lot to the indie scene. It is apparently a Sokoban game with a shitload of secrets that the game tells you absolutely nothing about. And that is the kind of thing I enjoy. Void Stranger. I also really like the sound effects of that game a lot. I have purchased it, but I have not actually done anything with it.
Okay.
Fair enough. Like literally, I think maybe the day right after the Switch 2 was announced, the Direct, and then I saw that the games were going to be $80. I went to our little like points shop thing that we have at work, and I got a $50 Visa prepaid card and bought 8 video games with it. One of which I didn't have to pay for, but I said there's $276 left on this card, so you're getting $276.
Yes, perfect.
Amazing.
And Void Stranger was one of those, as was Hot Wax, actually, funnily enough.
What's Hot Wax?
Tell me about Hot Wax. I watched a video of you playing this, and it appears to be, it's more complicated than this. I want you to explain some of the stuff, but it appears to be a candle-based Tetris game where every single placement essentially also is a turn, which burn something further. So explain this a little bit more, because it's more complicated than that. It's kind of cool.
I know.
It's kind of cool. I watched that video. I watched that private video of you playing that, and I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
like this looks kind of cool.
I was like, there's kind of a lot to explain about it, and it is one of those games that I think it's difficult to explain without a visual. So I was like, let me record out of the 50 runs I have been doing every day since I bought the game. Let me record one.
Is this your new Mixolumia?
A little bit, yeah. Because the thing is, it is a like arcade puzzler, which Mixolumia is as well, but it's more traditional Tetramino style. And yeah, all of the Tetraminos are candles. And your goal is to, every time you burn a node of a candle, you get points. You try to get a certain amount of points, or just keep clearing the board. And there's like two interesting things about it. One that you touched on, which is that it is kind of turn-based. Every single time you place a block or a candle or an upgrade, you advance the time by one. So then all the candles burn once. Also, the thing is like, they're not, it's not like burning like firewood or something. They're candles, so they don't burn if they're next to each other. They only burn if the wicks are touching.
Right.
And also there's gravity. So probably the weirdest thing, like the thing that it took me the longest to wrap my head around and train my brain away from Tetris and Mixolumia, is that, interestingly, you have to introduce the concept of structural integrity, because if the wicks touch the sides or the ground or the sides of other candles without wicks, the fire gets snuffed out. And you only get a fire to light stuff every, I don't know, like 10 placements or something like that. Right. So there's a lot going on. It took a while to rewire my brain to play it, but I liked that a lot.
Just like Tetris. And
it looks quite a bit like Tetris.
I'm sure the body is like, well, this is just Tetris. I'll just play Tetris about it.
Yeah. One of the strangest things is like, the moment that I realized I wanted to talk about it was when it clicked for me after playing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, that the long block, which is traditionally the I block, whatever, is traditionally the best block in Tetris, is the worst block in this game because it doesn't have catch points on the sides.
Oh, they're only at the ends.
They're only at the ends. So if you put it vertically, something has to be touching the top of it because it can't really burn from the bottom. Or what you see me doing a lot is just putting them sideways because they're really useful to catch on one side and then burn to another to light the other half of the board. Yeah. So it's just super weird. And then like the S blocks are more complicated than they are in Tetris. Like you really have to think about like which way you're going to play something, even though kind of making them fill the board is important to make use of available space, but they also have to be facing the correct way, which is just a lot to keep up with, which I enjoy.
Wow. Yeah. This is so sick.
This is a Punk Cake Delicious game. They are like a little tiny like Patreon-based studio, kind of like Sock Pop Collective, if y'all know them. But they run a Patreon and they try to put out a relatively small game once a month. I think it usually ends up more like every 2 or 3. I think their most famous game is Shotgun King, The Final Checkmate, which is like the first one they put on Steam. But they have a bunch of games. They are very good. They make a lot of really good games. This is just the one, along with one called Metavax, that has like captured my attention the most. Which Metavax is a shmup that is also Minesweeper.
Ooh, great. A shmup Minesweeper. That's fun.
Yeah, you play as like a little white blood cell, and you try to find the like virus cells, which are the bombs in Minesweeper, and destroy them. But if you guess wrong, or you can do it on purpose, if you're building to be like a shmup versus a Minesweeper kind of style cell, you can just break them on purpose, and then you shoot all the little viruses that come out.
That makes sense.
That's cool. It's a good game. Those are my 2 creme de la cremes from Pumpkin.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I've been playing South of Midnight. Nikki's played about 4 minutes of South of Midnight, so I will.
Yesterday I put South of Midnight and Blueprints on this because I was like, I'm gonna have time to play. Nope.
I barely.
It still doesn't work on Mac. I don't know. Blueprints still doesn't work on
Blueprints.
Mac.
Oh, okay.
And I think it doesn't because Steam let me download it. Steam is like, great. Play the video game Blueprints.
Here's this .exe file.
But it's not even, it isn't even that. It's a DMG. Like I looked in the fucking app data. It's a Macintosh file. Steam says that I can play it. It loads and plays 2 seconds of music. I see the studio name and then it crashes. So I can't play it. So now I'm waiting for tomorrow. So then I can play it.
Wait for tomorrow to play it. To play it.
That's so true, John. South of Midnight, the opening cutscene is great. But John, you got at least one achievement in it because the Xbox told me you got one.
Yeah, so I played through 3 chapters of this game. I played through it today, so it's pretty fresh. Some of the platforming, the in the air platforming is very forgiving. The platforms themselves are very unforgiving. So there's that thing that happens where a team really wants to tell an amazing story, and they put a lot of effort and care into the writing and the setting and the narrative structure, and an interesting kind of story. And then it's like, okay, well, like the combat's okay. Yeah. And it's like, and it's about as like complicated as I feel like I kind of want it to be right now. Like,
yeah, which is kind of what we were expecting.
I wasn't trying to like sink into another like God of War where like I'm going to go fight super bosses and get really good at like mixing weapon styles. Like I didn't expect it, but it is pretty simple. There are things about it that are like, you don't really unlock the ability to close the gap between you and an enemy for like a few upgrades, which feels silly. Like that should have just been available. It's little stuff like that like this combat should feel good right away. And they've decided that like, no, you're going to unlock stuff that makes it feel good, which is like, I think a bad choice, like almost every time. Get that feeling great and then like work off of that and start adding stuff from there. Just a personal preference thing. The platforming is a little iffy, but like this game is gorgeous. It's got, it's like something I think has been missing in a lot of the previews and reviews is like it's full of wildlife that you will encounter, and almost all of it points to something that you should look at. Like if there's an owl over there or a rabbit jumping into a bush, it's like maybe go look over there and there's going to be like a little unlock, a little like collectible or whatever. It's like there's just a lot of like there's a lot of like density packed, but this is not like an open world game. This is just actually so far incredibly linear experience, which which honestly, like
thank God.
Like I've been trying to play through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth by basically just saying I don't give a shit about the bloat. I'm just going to go through it, and that still feels like an overwhelming experience. So this is a really good change of pace. The writing is really great. I'll say something about like I don't go here, but like. There's been a really interesting movement in the past like 20 years, I feel like, of people realizing that there's some directors in film who actually know how to film black people and black skin and dark skin and like get that right. And for whatever reason, because it's a video game and you can just make it look however you want. South of Midnight makes me feel like that for video games in terms of just like there's a warmth and depth of color and texture that I'm like I notice it. So like that's something that I'm like, okay, that feels special for this team to kind of get that and really nail that. And it's about the American South. So like I'm vibing. Like I think it's like there's a talking catfish, there's some good accents. Like it's good. It's good shit. Like I think it's I am warmer on it than I think I even expected it to be. That I expected myself to be. So yeah, I'm enjoying South of Midnight. It's on Game Pass. Best deal in gaming, unless you're. Nikki's been saying for weeks, best deal in gaming, best deal in genocide, best deal in everything. It's like it's all of that stuff and more. So just go do that. We didn't even talk about that, but Microsoft was added to the BDS movement.
The BDS list.
Go look at the different ways you could boycott and do that stuff. I just recommend that. Yeah. I'll throw that out there as I wrap up my part.
There's also on here, John, you have MTG Arena.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like, I literally don't fucking get it. It's like saying I'm just gonna get into cigarettes. I was
gonna say this is really sounding like an intervention.
I don't understand it.
Jan, weird.
Jan literally got into cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I think I'm gonna get into Magic the Gathering. What are you talking about?
Wait, did Jan just get into cigarettes?
Back into cigarettes. He used to smoke, quit
Jan,
smoking, and then started smoking again.
Jan,
Jan 2 came out.
Jan, don't smoke. It's not worth
late.
it.
It's too late.
Jan, no.
It's too late.
That's okay. I'll get him to quit at SGF.
I don't you'll catch him outside while he's smoking. I don't understand why you're doing this to yourself when you could do
anything else.
You could go lick one of those toads.
That's fine.
That people are into right now.
I've never played Magic the Gathering ever.
They're great.
I saw the Final Fantasy.
That does begin to explain it.
I saw the Final Fantasy cards and I'm like, I don't normally vibe with cross brand fandom bullshit. Like, I don't like that stuff.
Right.
But these cards are beautiful. I'm a Final Fantasy sucker. And I wrote on Blue Sky, I don't like Magic, but these look great. And then fucking Pillknock from KC was like, what if you were into Magic? And I was like, you're very persuasive. And then I was just like, and then I was like, I don't know if I would vibe with it. She was like, just play one thing of in MTG Arena.
Just one.
Here's what I'll bring back.
Just one. It's just
one until it isn't.
It's just one heroine.
I will say this. I played that one game of MTG Arena, and it's like play land. Play land? What do you mean play land? He goes, play a land card. What do you mean? I'm on land already. Like, I already don't understand any of it. Why do I have to play land to get the guys on there? I don't understand.
Yeah, just put the guys down.
So the fucking whiplash I had from, like, I love Marvel Snap, but I've kind of fallen out of it. MTG is going to be great. It's going to be kind of like the sicko version of that. I want some of that sicko, and it's like, play some land. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think when you know that Blizzard has made their own one of those, you know that the original is obtuse.
Yeah.
Right.
Blizzard said, we can do this better, we think.
Yep.
we can make this more accessible.
Just go. I would feel better, John, actually, if you went to go play Hearthstone instead.
I don't know. Hearthstone. Would I even remember how to play Hearthstone? I used to play a lot of Hearthstone.
I think a child could play Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's true.
A child could play Hearthstone.
Kids do play Hearthstone.
So that was my experience.
Heroes of the Storm. That's my new idea.
Go to Hot Slogs right now. Hotslogs.com.
Everyone was talking about getting into Dota a couple of weeks ago for some fucking reason.
Why? That's crazy.
Is the international soon?
It's the same. I don't know. The international is in your heart, you know, Lotus.
Yep.
It's happening every day. I don't know.
The world is within all of us.
The world, listen.
The world
does Gabe still go to those?
No, he's in New Zealand, right? Permanently. Did I make that up?
I have no idea if he goes to the. I
remember
the international is strange because they just pop up. It's like there's no other events. The international just happens, and it's $2 million, and then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Very awesome.
Remember when everyone was talking about Gabe?
Recently?
Well, that's.
No, in the past.
Thanks so much. This has been episode 45 of the VGBs podcast. Go to VGBs.com/join.
Ask the fucking questions.
No. What do you mean?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean when everyone's talking
about his yacht?
He used to be a main character in this business.
Yeah,
we swapped him out for that guy I don't know what he does or why people are mad at him.
You're right. Well, I don't know who you mean now.
Yeah, which guy's that guy?
Is it Grims? What's that guy's name? What is that guy's name? I don't know what he does.
You think Gabe Newell's been replaced by Grims?
The thing is, critically,
by the way,
people liked Gabe when they talked about him.
No,
Alyssa Mercante is going to be on the show on
does she know who Grims is?
On May, let me see.
Probably
on
not,
May,
probably not. I'm
on
sure
May
so.
8th. On May 8th is
Okay.
when we're recording that. Don't learn a single additional thing
Okay,
about
I
all of
won't.
that.
Please
Okay,
don't.
Okay.
okay.
I hope she can tell me who Grims is. Is it even Grims? It's
Yes.
Grums.
It's Grums.
It's
Damn it,
Grums.
I was hoping you wouldn't
Yeah,
reply.
I was really hoping.
I like it more if you.
I like it.
Also, close enough. The letters are
close
even next
enough.
to each other on the keyboard.
Who gives a shit?
I don't know. Okay.
All right, we have Hive questions. If you want to ask us Hive questions, you can go to vgbs.com/join. Join the Hive. You can ask us questions every single week. We have some pretty good ones this week. Let's just start with My Hero Zero asking. This is just straight to Lotus. Hey, what's an indie game that you think people slept on that they should check out?
Penko Park. I think I've tried to get you to play this before, Nikki. It is a rail camera game, except the camera doesn't totally matter. So it's like Pokemon Snap, except it is in a made up theme park for cryptids, like cryptid theme that was run by cryptids that they made up. It's very cute and it's not super scary, but you could get a little bit of like a Halloween time itch from it.
This game came out on my mom's birthday during the year of the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
What does that mean? You know?
Wow.
What does it all mean?
What does it all mean?
Wow.
Okay,
Jason,
it's in my cart now.
Jason, well, actually, do either of us have one of those, Nikki?
No.
No. Nikki doesn't play indie games.
I don't play those
Let me see. No woke
If
games.
it's woke, I'm not playing it.
If it's woke, I'm not
if
playing.
It's woke,
I
I'm not
love
playing.
Kingdom Come Deliverance too.
Let's see. I've got some indies on here that I like. I think, well, one, you should go play The Good Time Garden, which is the prequel kind of prelude to Thank Goodness You're Here. I think that's really fun. It's free. If you didn't play Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip, play that one. A lot of people did end up playing that one, but that's a really good one. And I don't know. It was on my top 5 games, but you should play Crow Country. Why not?
There's a game that I have code for that I have not played yet. But if you go watch the Annapurna Direct and think about who I am for 2 seconds, you'll see the one that was for me. For you. And then that's the one that I recommend you go play.
Perfect.
When it comes out eventually.
Jason asks, what's your favorite short experience video game you played in the last couple of years?
Kind of like a get in, get out situation.
Interpret it how you will.
I don't remember how long it is, but maybe Toem, Toem.
Yeah, Toem was great.
I want to say that's like a 4-hour game, maybe 5.
That's not long
if you do everything. Wow. Botany Manor is another one that is relatively recent. It's basically, without saying it, it's like an escape room game, but flower themed. I was slightly shocked by how short it is. I think you can do it in under 3 hours if you do okay at puzzles.
Yeah, if you're smart. You can just say it.
Just a little bit. If you're good at esoteric video game puzzles, you could get through it in about 3 hours, which is a nice way to spend an evening because they're usually pretty.
I'd say Felvedek, which is a weird little turn-based RPG. Play this kind of drunk-ass knight who needs to do some stuff. It's short. It's weird. Go play it. Reminded me a little bit of Hylix in a way, just kind of like a cousin of Hylix, I would say. But it's pretty short, so I like that one. Which would you rather play? My Hero Zero asks, The Missing JJ McField and the Island of Memories or Inside? I've never played the first game, so I have no idea.
Don't ask me no stupid fucking questions. Inside? What are you talking about?
Okay,
Inside. I'm gonna play Inside.
I'm gonna go ahead and let My Hero Zero know. Just letting you know.
The thing is, it's MHC, so I'm not sure if that's doing a bit with me or genuine.
It's probably doing a bit.
It's probably
doing a bit.
But the thing is, the Missing JJ McField is not an unpopular game. I just think it's bullshit.
Soy Socks, new to the group. Thanks, Soy Socks.
Good name.
Welcome. Asks, how would you convince a person who plays games but not visual novels to try one? What would you recommend first?
Read a book.
Yeah, I
take a look. Sign up.
But I was thinking about this recently. I can't remember why. But the idea of like, oh, how do I get into like indie games? And to me, the question is like, how do I get into reading? And it's like, well, you just pick something that you're interested in, then just kind of go.
Yeah.
I think the thing about visual novels is they get a bad rep in a lot of different ways, but in the West, mostly for like being pervert games that don't have anything interesting about them. You might have slightly more success looking up the term interactive fiction, which is almost exclusively the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like Inkle's games, like Overboard, and the new one that just came out. They renamed it to Expelled, but it used to be called Miss Mulligatawny's School for Horrible Girls or something like that.
I understand why they did that.
I get it, but I do like a stupid long title.
It's way better.
It is better.
I get why they
it also makes it more clear that it's the same type of thing as Overboard, which is like it is a branching narrative game where you play a specific character in a specific place, and it's kind of a mystery. And I think those are close enough to visual novels that you would like it. The other one people say a lot, obviously, is Ace Attorney, which is like an adventure visual novel.
Yeah.
I'm just not big on Ace Attorney because I'm not 10, so I don't think it's very funny, unfortunately.
Boom!
I don't even think it's an insult. Ace Attorney's made
fucking
for
boom. It is made.
I do a little bit. Some of the puns make me laugh. Every person's name is a pun, which is a nice running
Which theme. Is great.
I've never played any of those.
Well, never too late to start.
All those collections are on
10.
Steam and stuff. Well,
oh my God, wait, I didn't even mention Scarlet Hollow is the number one. I'm so sorry. Is that game finished yet? No, but I do not give a fuck. Scarlet Hollow is the one. Period.
Go play it. We got one more. Lovic, have y'all done any oh shit, I better buy this stock up before tariffs fuck any up pricing shopping?
It's so funny you think I'm liquid enough to buy things that fast.
Yeah.
I got a 4 terabyte hard drive. That's
hell yeah, dude.
I said I don't need it yet. I'll just get it now.
Yeah, get it now.
I got a couple SD cards and I got a new set of headphones. Those are almost out of necessity than that, but there was some urgency because I figured they would go up in price. So
yeah.
Well, listen, it's only 100 and I'm now looking at it says 165%.
It's just
165%. Incredible. All right, that's it for questions. Hey, I told y'all that I would read reviews, 5-star reviews. I'm going to read these really quick. 5-star review from Peg All 2. John is informative and funny. Thank you. Nikki is funny and informative. Thank you. They cover mainstream and indie games, will make you laugh, listen to the podcast, and protect the hive. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was in Great Britain. Now we have 3 American reviews. Buzz and Sting from LJ The Way 1987. I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts that have, and I find a lot have the buzz, but not the sting. And others have a lot of the sting, but no buzz. BGBs is appropriately named because it has a little bit of both, a little buzz, a little bit of a sting, a bit of both, if you will. A rare find in today's world. No mug in their merch shop as of leaving this review, though. I still don't have one, but we will maybe fix that.
You can fix that tomorrow, John.
Nicki Minaj reviewed the podcast and says 5-star podcast, 5-star runtime with the best answers to the internet's burning questions and no technical difficulties or hardware noise. So rude. And then finally we have Knife Alien with one of the best gamer podcasts around. Gamer podcast, boy. Pros, good intro, professional hosts, fun. Cons,
professional hosts.
Yeah. Cons, Nikki, I don't know what this refers to at all. I don't remember this.
Idea. I'm like, I have no idea what these words mean.
The rice conversation in the episode Brick and Jack Football Geniuses is honestly one of the worst things I've heard in podcast form. Truly evil energy from that one. I don't remember at all.
This is you talking about not washing your rice.
Whether or not, yes, I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
I need to be so clear. I went back to washing my rice.
I wash my rice if I make it on the stove. So that's an update from that. Thank you.
And Lotus, when do you wash your rice?
I do wash the rice, unless it's the like ultra vitamin fortified, because then you can tell it all came off and it tastes different.
Yeah, it tastes different. You want the vitamins.
It's mostly the bugs that I'm concerned about washing off.
The bugs.
Oh, I want those.
Yeah, Nikki wants all the free bugs.
Protein.
Extra protein.
It's free pro, Lotus. You're so right.
You're so right. Lotus, this has been such a blast. Please, you have the floor. Plug something. Plug anything.
You can find me at Lotus Loves Lotus places. I also have a Patreon with my friends, patreon.com/pressed petals. That's just where I put all my writing because I am far too lazy to make a website. We also have a K-pop podcast. If you would like to become interested in K-pop without someone being truly psychotic stans and being willing to say when the songs are bad, that is K-YOS. And then also, of course, please wishlist Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions wherever you can.
Go do that. Nikki, anything to plug? MakeYouThink.club.
MakeYouThink.club. It's a newsletter.
Good newsletter.
Thank you.
It's great.
That's it.
All right, cool. Hey, go to VGBs.com/join. We're trying to grow this thing this year. I've got big plans for Summer Game Fest. I'm looking to hire a freelancer or two to cover all the things that we're doing. Nikki and
I don't think anybody's coming to that one.
I don't think anyone's coming to that one.
Hard for you to
it's gonna be hard. But we're trying to do it up this year. I'm gonna be there for about 10 days. So it's gonna be fun. We'll plan some content, all that stuff. So this is a good time to get in on it. So VGBs.com/join. We got to get out of here. Nikki's got to go to a concert, which is so exciting.
to maybe go see Doechii.
Ooh, that's so exciting. I can't do that. I can't.
That's pretty good though.
That's pretty good.
I can't do it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so let's get out of here. All right, until next week, folks. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. And you know what? You gotta keep on buzzing. Bye.